In today's episode, I'll be giving my review for the movie Extraction 2, released in 2023. Obviously, the sequel to the first Extraction film. Extraction 2, let's jump right in. Do something, man. People are questioning you. Shut up. Shut up. Okay, yep, do that. Sure, guys. Stupid and dumb. Just an idiot. Get your shit together, son. Fuck it. I loved it. Welcome to the dub cast. Extraction 2 was released on June 16th, 2023. It is a Netflix film, so exclusively on Netflix, I believe, as of this point. The genre is an action thriller. The runtime is 2 hours and 3 minutes. The budget is $70 million. The director of Extraction 2 is Sam Hargrave. He is the same director who directed the first movie, Extraction. Other than that, I was not familiar with any of his work so far. And this movie stars Chris Hemsworth, Golshifteh Farahani, sorry I'm going to butcher these names, Adam Bessa, Tomik Gogriciani, Tomik Bizava, Tinatin Delakashvili, Daniel Bernhardt, Olga Kurylenko, and Idris Elba. So if you're new to the channel, give my overarching review of the movie, compare it to other movies reviewed on the Dubcast, and then go into my thoughts and reactions throughout the film. So starting it out with my overarching review, I thought this was a pretty compelling action movie. It definitely kind of gives off that new age classic Netflix action movie where there's just so much action. This movie has an absurd amount of action that sometimes you don't even realize what's really happening. I compare this to obviously the first film of the series Extraction, and also Gray Man. Like, it's one of those type of, a lot of action happening just in your face with it. There's a plot, but it's kind of falls back to the just action on the scene. Particularly in this movie, it seems like the action only slows down for a couple of moments after the beginning of the movie. Some of the scenes were just really intense as fuck, so I did appreciate that aspect of it. I remember when this movie came out, there was all the news about the 21-minute movie, or 21-minute one-shot action sequence, and yeah, it was great, but hot take, I think we need a slight breather. I mean, I'm an action guy, but this was just kind of too in your face. I need a little bit more plot, a little bit more background about the characters. Maybe I'm reaching a bit on that, but I don't know, it just felt like a pretty baseline standard action movie to me, with a little bit more going on. A lot of more, the set pieces were amazing, the action was good, but it just felt like kind of that fell into that little basic category. So in comparison to the first movie, I think the storyline was a little bit more compelling in the first movie, if I'm being honest. But I think this one had a little bit more, little better action scenes. Definitely more intense, more well shot, more scenes that you'll remember the action from this movie than the first one. I don't even remember a lot of the action scenes from the first one. I did like the backstory of the antagonist in this film as well, and the dynamic with his family was interesting. The way that obviously that's the whole plot of the story that plays out. So I thought that was a really nice add for this one. Different from the first one, obviously. So, I did like I appreciated the acting of Chris Hemsworth in this movie, and also the acting of the antagonist, who is played by Tomik Gogriciani, Zurab. So he did a great job as well. The kid, I forget his name. It's gonna come to me in a second, but he's just so stupid. The son. I guess kids are just dumb, so I'll let it slide. But actively just pissed me off in this movie. Big hate character. So the set pieces, like I mentioned before, pretty good. The hotel confrontation and the church confrontation standing out to me as two of the most stronger scenes in the movie, especially with the action. It's interesting places to watch an action sequence play out in as well. There are just so many absurd action sequences in this movie. There's definitely some plot armor for the gang, but they do kill Yaz at the end, so that is something. It's not just they get out alive with everything, so there is a little bit of a price to pay. So I'll respect them killing Yaz off. That was my boy. That was sad. It was emotional. But my overarching, I guess, recommendation for this movie would be any action fans, any fans of Hemsworth, a little gore, even crazy kills. I didn't even mention the kills. Some of the kills are just absurd. We'll talk about them in a bit. But so that's where I land on Extraction 2. I'm gonna give this one a 7.7. Just a little bit above average. Just a nice action movie with some nice action scenes in it. So 7.7 for Extraction 2. So let's compare this to everything else we've reviewed on the Dubcast so far. So this lands at number 17 of the 26 movies we've now reviewed on the Dubcast. Crazy. 17 feels a tad bit low, but I've been saying in the past reviews, I think the movies that I'm reviewing here are really good, top tier. Recommendations from people, so it makes sense that something like I consider pretty standard or median or average, like or slightly above average, like this, ends up at number 17. So, in comparing it to similar movies, I compared it to The Bourne Identity. I thought had a similar story. This one's way more action based, so I think this was a little bit better. And I The Bourne Identity was the most recent movie review. Go check it out. But I didn't like the love interest in that story. I thought that was kind of fabricated. I feel like there's real genuine storylines going on in this movie, so this one's definitely better. It does lose to Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I just like the interesting concept they throw at you in that movie better than this one, only by 0.2 points, but thought those were two pretty good comps for this movie. Like I mentioned before, I think Gray Man's a good comp for this movie as well. So this movie lands perfectly in the middle of the 7 tier. So we have 9 movies in the 7 tier. This is like right in the middle, smack dab in the middle of 5. So just like I said, pretty average for me. So with that being said, let's move on to my thoughts and reactions. Get rid of the Dubcast graphic. So here we go, right back into the second movie. They do give you on Netflix, at least I watched on Netflix, they give you a little bit of background onto what happened in the first one. I actually watched this YouTube video because I was going to watch it in a car, so I was like, I need to get a little brief on what's happening. This YouTube video just read off the whole Wikipedia because I looked at the Wikipedia after and it was just verbatim, so I'm not sure if that's plagiarism, but I don't know, I may report that guy. Anyways, just look up the Wikipedia. It's not really, there isn't a ton of stuff to remember going into this movie. So, where we left off in the first movie, which is already ridiculous, they gave him the ambiguous ending of falling into a river off a bridge after getting shot. So, if we want to do a sequel, we can. Oh, the first one made some money on Netflix. Let's do another one. Hint, hint, we're going to be doing another one as well. Not sure if we need 3 Extraction movies, but here we are in 2024 slash, it may come out in 2025, 2026, but I'm here for it. They're solid movies. So, what's the storyline of how he lives after the first movie? He gets picked up out of the river. A young girl finds him, and then soldiers just immediately come, and he gets airlifted to a hospital. So I guess he is in the positive light of the government wherever they are. I forget what country they end off in the first one. I guess the girl just had soldiers on standby to come pick him up. Whatever. It's he's got to come back from his injuries. Make this a second movie. So it is what it is. So he is in the hospital for a bit. We get his recovery for a couple minutes, and right when he wakes up, he meets the girl from the last movie. Why am I forgetting all these names? Tyler. No, that's Tyler's the main character. It's the girl who is. She helped him with the mercenaries. Nick. So Nick is right there when he wakes up, and of course, having being this kind of grouchy character, right when he wakes up and sees her, he just says "fuck off." He's probably, or he is silently happy that her and Yaz save him from everything because they're kind of the ones we see in the hospital all the time. Checking after him, making sure everything's good. Probably the ones who end up footing the bill. Seems like they have infinite money glitch. They can just pay for all these mercenaries and trucks and everything. But we'll talk about it in a second. So he's in a little bit of recovery for like the first 15 in the movie. He's got to get his shit together. I don't know. It just a lot of injuries suffered, a lot of brutality from the first movie, gunshots. There's a lot to do. So while that's all happening, we meet this man named Zurab, and he is in Georgia, I believe. So the governor of Georgia is headed over to Zurab's place, this farm. His brother's in prison, and Zurab just heard that his brother's prison sentence got extended. So he needs to talk to the governor about this. The governor signed off on it. They take a nice little walk. It doesn't end well because Zurab wanted the governor to be put in place in order to not to kill, but to free his brother, run a political corruption. Basically, Zurab runs this whole country of Georgia for some reason. I don't know, like they explain it, but it doesn't really seem like he'd be able to run a whole country. I guess it's, Eastern Europe, so I don't know, anything flies? I don't know. So he gets confrontational. Zurab seems chill at the beginning. He's down to earth guy, just chalk it out. Nope, he takes one of the like the spades used to farm right in the neck. There's our first crazy kill right away. Just kill the governor, and then all of Zurab's boys just kill all of his men. So there's a governor gone. I don't know, what plays out in that scenario. Tell me what happens after that. They're just gonna point into a governor like, oh yeah, Zurab got our guy. We gotta get another governor. Okay, I mean, right off the bat, this is just extreme action and whatever. We're supposed to be scared of this Zurab guy. Got it, but this just seemed a little bit extreme. So, as Tyler's recovering from his injuries, he is gifted a new crib right by a pond with his old dog and some old things. Everything that apparently was in his old place that needed to be sent over to the new one just fit in a small little box. Something I did notice is he has chickens and he lets them up on the couch with him and the dog. I don't know if I'd do that. Chicken shit on your couch, bro. At least have a respectable place to fucking lay your bed. I mean, lay your head. I wouldn't want no chickens on my couch. They're not even coming in the house. I guess he's in a very cold area, so maybe they have to let come in the house. But on the couch, bro, too much. Essentially, all we got from him coming back or living in this place is he's getting bored. He lives by himself. He has no one to talk to. He watches TV and movies and stuff, but it's not. He doesn't have a podcast or anything to talk about it on. So what is he gonna do? Just sit there and watch movies all day? I don't know, man. He's getting bored. So clearly, there's going to be another mission. Obviously, there's no second movie without another mission. So we also have been cutting in and out of this prison with Zurab's brother. He has his kids, or he had his kids and wife locked up there with him, so he didn't have to live alone in the prison, and so they could live with him while they grew up and not on the outside world. They could potentially be taken out due to his connections with gangs. But if he has Zurab, everything should be fine, but it's not. So he wants his kids to grow up hard and become a Nagazi. He has the one son, and he has a young daughter. I believe she's like 3 or 4, maybe 5 or 6, something like that. The son's more teenager. I'd say probably like high school age. So he wants the son to follow in his footsteps, become a Nagazi. That's their gang name, the big old Nagazi. They run Georgia, apparently. So right away we see the dynamics playing out between the wife and him. She doesn't want this to fly. She wants her kids to just live a normal life like any normal person would, but the gang members, you got to grow up in a gang. I get it. So that's the odd dynamic playing out in the prison. So while this is happening, Tyler finally gets a visitor to his place. It's Idris Elba. Loved Idris Elba in this role. He literally played in 2 scenes, but he was amazing when he did act in this movie. So he pulls up. He's just chilling there, drinking coffee, just roasting Tyler. Essentially, he has a contract for Tyler. Tyler's ex's wife's sister is the woman in the prison with Zurab's brother, David, and it's another extraction mission. Tyler's one of the best in the business. They got to get him out of there. The kids and the wife to get him out of there without the brother knowing / retribution. Obviously, it's a big mission because they basically run the whole country. So, of course, Tyler is going to take it. We already saw him being bored, and the whole movie is based on him doing a contract. So, obviously, he's going to do this. And the connection from the first movie with his ex-wife, his big emotional journey in this movie is he still has the emotional baggage from walking on his kid. His kid had leukemia. He went to go see him right before he died, and then he just walked away. He couldn't do it. And there's an emotional moment later that we'll talk about. That's kind of his driving factor in this that kind of keeps him up late at night. So, of course, with the contract accepted, we get a nice little training montage. Cuts up a lot of wood, and I mean a lot of fucking wood, bro. You're leaving in a couple weeks. I guess you don't need that much wood, but I guess at the end of the movie you kind of do. And when there's people, I don't know, whatever. So while Yaz and Nick are on their way to the prison, Yaz makes a TikTok reference, which I don't know if I'd ever hear the words TikTok uttered in a movie, but I guess that's something that happens on Netflix. Medical TikTok. What is bro talking about? But okay, TikTok, yay, trendy, 2023, woo, TikTok, nice. So that was kind of annoying. Anyways, the extraction begins. So far, Tyler's doing a nice job. Everything's going chill, but something's got to get fucked up. The girl, once they leave the cell, everything's gone right up until this point. Tyler's gotten in, got them out the cell. They're walking out. She drops a toy. It squeaks. And then all of a sudden, everyone just starts freaking out. All the other prisoners go rah 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 rah, like banging on the cell door and banging on the bars, making a shit ton of noise. So Tyler, the mission has gone awry. There's kind of rioting. Everything, all the alarms are going off. He steps into a room. He's ambushed by prisoners. All he has is a gun. Obviously, the woman and or the wife and the kids aren't going to be able to fight. Um, so he manages to escape that part, and then he's alone in this kind of hallway with the escape hatch ready to go. He gets the kids out. It's him and the wife down there, and who shows up but David, or it's a David. I don't know. I'm just gonna call him David. So David notices that everyone's leaving, and what's his rationale, or what does he want to do? Oh, hit your girl in the face with a pipe wrench. Yeah, she'll want to come back to you after that, right? Yeah, she'll be down. Yeah. Clearly, this is the end of their relationship. That even it's not going to last more than 10 minutes. But see ya. Like, what? I feel like that wasn't really well explained. I mean, maybe I just wasn't paying close enough attention, but I feel like it wasn't that closely explained on why he just all this stuff. I mean, they're in the middle of a fight. He understands what's happening, but like, really, dude, like, automatically, I'm already off team Zurab and David because they're just crazy. So Tyler, in the confrontation, somehow breaks David's hand in half and then stabs him and kills him. Crazy fight sequence. It was quick because they had to get out of there. The hand was just crazy. The gore in this movie was crazy. I will say I don't remember that being this bad in the first one. So if you like gore, go ahead. But I'm not a big blood and gore guy. Some of these were just like, whoa, what did I just watch? So while that's happening, he's basically dead. But the wife is going to come in and finish him off by smacking him in the face with a shovel. He's dead. They get out of that little situation. But now they're faced with a new situation because they have to go through the courtyard to get to the exit. This is one of the intense as fuck action scenes. He's just shooting and stabbing people. He's got the girl behind him. It's a prison riot in a freaking courtyard. They're all coming up to him. He's got a knife and gun in one hand. Goes crazy. This is what we watched this movie for. So he ends up throwing a grenade, and then after he throws the grenade, gets bopped in the head. I thought he was going to be knocked out, and we are going to be like, he's going to be in the prison or something, but nope, wakes right up, flattens someone's face with a weight. Crazy. The weight stuff was crazy because there's another one in the hotel that's just wow. So they end up making their way out of the prison. This scene probably lasted. This is the scene I thought was a nonstop action scene. Maybe it was, but I think the train is because I was looking at Chris Hemsworth Twitter because he posted 90 million things about this, and I wanted to see what people were saying about it after I watched it, like when it was airing. So I don't know which one was the 20. This one was crazy though. This one was absurd. This was one of the best action sequences in the movie. The prison courtyard escape. It was just like wow. He just kept going and going. It got a little tedious because he's just doing the same thing over and over again. But it is what it is. So they're out of the prison. So on the chase, they have their nice little 3-car caravan. Conveniently, the 2 cars that don't have Tyler and the family, Nick and Yaz. Well, actually, one of the cars is just blown up. That's the car with all the irrelevant people that we never even met. Nick and Yaz's car is taken out, and they're hurt badly. But conveniently, the car with Tyler, the family, is okay for now. So their escape plan is a train, which I don't know what the logistics on that were. I wouldn't be very faithful in a train exit. Maybe a plane, private jet. Kick the feet up, get out of there. I guess rocket launch. I mean, they're going to come after you no matter what, I guess, but I feel like out of everything, I would not want to take a train. Obviously, cars weren't good either, so maybe they're just stuck with what they're stuck with. So, of course, they're ambushed on the train. Nick and Tyler do their best, kind of stealth mode a little bit, kill them. This poor little girl, man, I don't even know if we're at the halfway point. She's witnessed mad death. Like, she's never going to forget this day or these couple of days in her life. She's going to be scarred for life. She needs a lot of therapy. Hopefully she is on the younger side, so she doesn't remember any of this. Of course, the train ends up having no brakes, so they have to crash the train, and it's just like, okay, we're getting a little absurd here. So everything's okay, they make it out off the train, and then this is when Sandro, that's the son's name, fuck Sandro, he finds out that his dad is dead, and he's pissed off for a second because, he had this idea in his head that he wants to be a Nagazi like his dad, and this is going to play out terribly throughout the movie. Sandra is the whole fucking plot armor to keep this movie going. He's an annoying little shit. We're meant to hate him. He just sucks, but once he finds out, he's a little bit pissed off. Like, bro, like, whatever. He just does not understand his mom's perspective. She doesn't want him to grow up in a gang and become like have any chance of dying by just walking outside. But he's like, no, I wanted to be a Nagazi like my dad, blah 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 blah. And I get it, it's your father, so it's very like, it's not that cut and dry, but I don't know, I felt like he was kind of being a dick. So, of course, Zurab has found out that his brother has passed away. We get a lot of flashbacks to him and Zurab as kids as well, or him and David as kids, explaining their backstory. They were kind of kicked out of their country and came back in as heroes because they fought in the war and did a lot of good stuff. So they were also beat when they were a kid by their father. Um, this is an odd scene, and maybe I'm not culturally correct on this because Zurab's in the morgue with his brother's body. Now he remembers these things about his brother, and then after he starts just laughing like a psycho and banging his brother's dead body. Like what was that? That one was kind of odd. I mean, I guess he's just a psycho, and we're just supposed to, he's a psycho, let everything go. But what? Like that was, I was like visually taken aback. I guess there's a couple scenes that just happens to me in this movie. So they now make it to the private jet finally, and on the private jet, Yaz is alone with the kid for some reason, who we already saw pissed off about his dad being dead. So yeah, let's leave him alone, and he's not gonna do anything wrong. So Yaz gets up, leaves the phone right there. So of course the son takes it, calls Zurab, and then he gets all mad at Tyler. Um, this is once they're fine. They make so he calls Zurab, tells them where they are because they try and leave it as a cliffhanger. Obviously, he's gonna fucking tell them where they are. So they're at this little nice thing in like I believe it's Abu Dhabi, some nice high rise. And then Tyler's like, or Sandro and Tyler are talking, and Sandro just goes like so teen boy like angsty on Tyler. He brings up the point about how Tyler left his son, and Tyler's like, "Fuck you, dude." Like he doesn't say that, but it's like goddamn Sandro, like nothing was right for Sandro in this movie. Fuck him. So then after this, Tyler is way calmer than I am. He has a heart to heart with him about how the mom saved the kids, how the mom was trying to save Sandro and his sister. He reveals that, and then once this heart to heart hits Sandro, he reveals that he did contact Zurab, and then here they are right on the spot. 2 seconds after he mentions that there's a helicopter flying to their high rise. Yaz is a dumbass, bro. Like, how does he not? Because Sandro still has the phone in his hand. Yaz just had a phone with all this government information, all these important contacts on his phone. You just leave it there and you don't know where your phone is, bro? Like, and it's 2023. You're on TikTok, right? You're obsessed with TikTok. Why don't you have your phone? Fucking at least an hour or 2 hours without his phone. You have to call in resources and whatever. What was bro doing, bro? Oh, I like Yaz, but it was like, damn, this guy's an idiot. I realized that. And I don't even know if that was intentional, but it's like, it might have just been a plot thing that we missed. But if, we're to take everything as it is, bro, get your phone back and look at the recent calls too. God, whatever. So they're in the high rise, and there's armed forces arriving everywhere on the bottom and the top. They're coming in from the roof, and they're coming in from the bottom. So there's a lot of play with elevators and stuff. And they're in this apartment complex or hotel. I called it a hotel earlier. It might be an apartment complex. Thinking about it now. So while they're trying to figure out how to get out, they're going down the elevator and stairs and stuff. Sandro makes a run for it. At this point, I say let him be, and let the kid go. He clearly doesn't want to be here. You just called in the whole fucking army to your spot. Clearly, he wants to go back with Zurab and become a Nagazi and die in 2 years. Like, okay, go do that, bro. You know all, right? Go ahead. So I would say just let him go. But at this point, Yaz decides to follow. Tragically, I don't think this directly led to his death, but at this point, you made a mistake. You gotta go. That's on you. So I respect him going to follow him. So he has the choice. It comes down to a little standoff. It's like Tyler, Nick, and Yaz in an alleyway with Zurab and his car of people, and it's essentially left up for Sandro. He could run either way. He chooses Zurab, and then they blow up Nick's car right after that, so they can't get it. They have Sandro secured. So meanwhile, while all this is happening, the Austrian police are involved and trying to de-escalate the situation, just shoot at whoever. I don't know if they know what's going on. I don't know if Nick and Yaz have police connections. So while this is happening, Zurab's men have blown up at least 3 or 4 cars. They take down a helicopter. This poor Austria. Oh, they're in Austria, not Abu Dhabi. So sorry, correction on that. This poor police force is done. Like this, they threw everything they had at this, and they just get completely wiped out. So this Zurab gang is for real, man. I mean, wow. So the kills continue. Obviously, it's kind of touch and go, more in the sense that Tyler's just finding more and more people as he makes his way to try and figure this situation out. So once he's in an elevator going back up, he ties a grenade to the door. It's a nice little fake out by the whatever by the editors because they're in the elevator, and then the elevator comes up. There's just a grenade in the door. It explodes. So that's how he kills the people. He has someone punch him on a bench and then drops a barbell on them, which I don't know how that happened, like logistically, but. And then he's of course beating people up in the gym continuously as well. Throw the man on the treadmill. Ouch. Ugh. Just some tough kills, and nutty as well. So, things play out where they're on the roof, and there's this little slanted glass roof, like slightly slanted glass roof. Nick ends up falling off the roof. She's hanging on by a thread on one of the poles at the end. He falls down and goes and gets her. So now he's hanging on by a thing, has her in hand. Zurab walks out onto the roof as well. Nick shoots him from under, cops him. So now he's shot. He's hanging in the balance. He says, "Do you trust me?" And she says, "Yeah." Yanks her, throws her through the window. She's gonna live. They both end up getting away. So they're in a helicopter. After Yaz has been deeply hurt, this was kind of bang bang. All of a sudden he's very hurt and he's going to die. That was sad. R.I.P. Yaz. He was an OG, but also maybe a dumbass. So R.I.P. to brother Yaz. So they make it back to Tyler's place in shambles. Basically, they lost Sandra. They lost Sandra to Zurab. They lost Yaz in general. He's dead. So Nick is trying to recuperate. She's with Yaz's dead body. There's a lot of things that have to go on there. Brother and sister, just lost your brother, so respect that. She's grieving. Mia comes onto the nice little lodge. She ignores Tyler right when she walks in to talk to her sister. Obviously, that was the whole connection between Tyler and the mission. And she still is upset with Tyler for walking out on their dying kid, which is rightfully so. Like, I wouldn't even have even gone to this. I would just, picked up the sister and been like, let's get out of here, but whatever. So while all this is happening, Zurab's also on his post-mission recuperation, and he's talking to his uncle. His uncle's been a steady figure in his life ever since his father was killed. He's kind of the one who took the brothers under their wings. Zurab and David was, he's kind of been telling him to chill the whole movie, like, dude, you're going too hard, like, this doesn't really make a lot of sense for you, maybe we should think about this, calm down, you're being too irrational. But Zurab has finally heard enough. He kills his uncle after he once again tries to talk him down, and at this point Sandra realizes we fucked up, to quote The Hangover, and he's just like sitting there looking like a ghost because he doesn't know what just happened. Idiot, Sandra. Hope you're happy. So back at the lodge, Tyler and Mia talk it out a bit. He just says he couldn't fix it no matter what. That's what really got him to walk away. He just, no matter what, couldn't fix that his kid had cancer, and that just hurt him to his soul. And she says, it's okay. He, actually, I think I have something else. Okay, that's not yet. So I'll move on. So everything's kind of settled down. There's still a decent amount of time left in this movie, so I'm like, what's going to happen? Zurab makes a call to Tyler. He says he can't, I'm here if you want me. I'm in this airfield, and Tyler says he can't live knowing that Zurab is still around. Fair point, that guy's a psycho. So Tyler takes out everyone else around Zurab, makes his way into the church where Zurab's holed up. He is strapped up Sandro in a bomb vest in a church waiting for Tyler. So wonder how that happened. Did he have to force Sandro to put that on? Did Sandro just be like, I'll do it for you, Zurab, like, I've done everything for you, so might as well just strap up a bomb vest. I'm ready to die for you. I'll be a true Nagazi. Like, that's probably what happened. He probably didn't have to force him to wear the fucking vest. So here comes the confrontation. He makes Sandro shoot Tyler in the head, but of course Sandro's just a nice little teenager boy, so he can't do it. Of course, here's Nick to save the day, and essentially they still have Nick has to put down her gun, and Sandro still has the gun. Well, now Zurab has it because Sandro couldn't do it, but Sandro now takes the gun from Zurab and runs. We get our final boss battle between Zurab and Tyler. Tyler wins, Zurab dead. Pretty good fight scene there. So Nick is gravely injured as the police come in and swarm the scene. So everything's kind of the dust has settled. Zurab's dead. Sandro is safe. Nick and Tyler are safe, but Nick is in critical condition. So we kind of fast forward a bit. Both Nick and Tyler are in prison. Nick is alive. Mia is there to visit, and the kids are safe and in witness protection with Mia's sister. So Mia and Tyler finally have their conversation. It's an emotional ending. Tyler just says, I wish my son saw me as brave and not walking out on him and quitting on him. And Mia says to him, the last thing your son saw of you was going to fight a war and being brave, and he drew a picture of you because he thought you were really brave. And he never saw Tyler walk out on him, so that makes Tyler feel better, makes the audience feel better. Tyler maybe wasn't so bad, even though it was still pretty fucked up what he did, but his kid at least passed away with a bright image of his father. So of course, what else could be happening at the end of this movie? Idris Elba has Tyler pulled back out or driven or pulled out. I can't talk. He's pulled out of prison, driven on the way to a nice like quarry type place, and Idris says, "I got one more mission for you." Tyler asks him what's his name. He says, "You don't even want to know who I work for." He's a pet ugly motherfucker or something. So the guy that Idris works for is going to be a boss. Next movie, Tyler says, "I'm not going to do this without Nick," and Idris says, "I figured you'd say that." Here comes Nick out of prison, and here we go. Extraction 3. Who's ready? I would expect this movie 2025, 2026, but I will be seated for it. I'll be excited to see it. It'll probably be even more crazy, more grandiose action scenes. So that'll wrap up Extraction 2. What are your guys' opinions on Extraction 2? Did you like Extraction 1 or 2 better? I think I'm going to get the nod to 2. Slightly, just way better action scenes, but I did like the plotline better in this first one. But, the second one still has a pretty solid through line, and thought the action scenes were just better overall. So that'll put this one in the books. This will be coming out on a weekend. So before we did an NFL stream, week 9 predictions, week 8 recap, Survivor weekly episodes, episode 7, big episode there, and yeah, more movie reviews in the way. This is number 26. We're on the road to 50, baby. Crazy. So as always, be easy.